How's it going, everybody? It's good to see you guys. Got a small group today. It's good. It's okay. Happy about that, sort of, in a way. Give me 1 second here. Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I'm pulling up some information here. I had it pulled up and then I lost it. So, but we are definitely going to be talking about, if you guys remember, the other day when we were talking about, when we were watching the last press conference, actually, I had a, yo, Mexi. I had a, I'm actually glad you're here because this is somewhat in your neck of the woods. This might be some future content for you. I was streaming the press conference regarding Summer Wells, the most recent one, and I was doing that live. And after I was finished with that and talking about it, I got a notification from a news channel that I'm subscribed to, and it was saying that there was a possible mass shooting, or a possible active shooter is actually what it said. So sorry, let me get out of here. So there was a possible active shooter, and we watched helicopter footage for quite a while, actually, and my internet was so bad, I kept trying to like find out what was happening live at the moment. And every news station that I clicked on, every site for news stations that was interviewing people live, they were, it was just buffering and I couldn't do anything about it. So kind of like my brain is right now. So, yeah, man. So, I do have a little bit more information. And unfortunately there were two, heroes. One, a veteran police officer, and another was a good Samaritan with a gun. Like I was talking about, people. Like I was talking about. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read the article from the local, from Channel 7 in Denver. So that we can properly remember John Hurley, the Good Samaritan, as well as the police officer, Gordon Beasley, who was gunned down and apparently was the target. And I have the shooter's name here, but I have no interest in contributing to this person's name being remembered, so I'm not even going to mention it here. I don't think he doesn't deserve it, especially if I think that the motive was probably clout. People say, "Oh, well, it was to target police officers." You know, sure. I mean, but why? Because you hate the police that much? Sure. But no, you wanted to be remembered and you wanted to be praised in the height of everything that's going on, where it's just the thing to do now is to trash police. And you thought you were going to get some sort of clout, dude. So if you hear me wherever you are in the great beyond, yeah, that's not happening here. So, I believe it's pronounced Arvada, Colorado. Mexi would know. I wouldn't know. So this was Tuesday. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. When was that? Day before yesterday? Was that? Yeah, that was Monday. Monday I went live. They had this was Monday where the shooting took place. In Old Town, Arvada, Colorado. But on Tuesday, the Arvada Police Department chief identified John Hurley as the Good Samaritan who was killed during Monday's shooting in Old Town. The chief called Hurley a true hero. Witnesses told Denver 7 that Hurley confronted the gunman. Hurley was 40 years old and lived in Golden. A friend described him as an outspoken activist. Hurley, veteran Arvada police officer Gordon Beasley, and the gunman were killed in the shooting on Monday afternoon in Old Town Square. Bill Trianos was working at the Arvada Army Navy surplus store on Monday afternoon when Hurley walked into the business. He said Hurley was inside for just a few minutes when they heard gunshots outside and saw the gunman in the plaza. Now, is that, I mean, this dude didn't think this thing through very well, did he? I'm not going to, dude, somebody in that Army Navy surplus store is strapped. Like, I'm going to count on that. I'm totally going to count on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to do this right outside of an Army Navy surplus store, already a bad idea. When they heard the gunshots outside and then they saw the gunman in the plaza, Trianos and Hurley swiftly pulled his gun from his holster and jumped into action. So Hurley he had a sidearm or whatever, but he was carrying. And then he jumped into action. Quote, he did not hesitate. He didn't stand there and think about it. He totally heard the gunfire, went to the door, saw the shooter, and immediately ran in that direction, Trianos said, unquote. I just want to make sure his family knows how heroic he was. And that's what we're doing here today, people, because I want to make sure you know how heroic he was. A manager at a business nearby who asked not to be identified said he was outside when he heard Hurley urge people to get to safety. He was quoted in saying, he turned back and looked towards everybody at the restaurant and told us that the gunman, is coming. That he is coming back and that we should get inside, the manager said. I ran into the back of the store, closer to the alley, kind of nooked myself in a corner just to feel safe. So this man, John Hurley, just a regular citizen who is an activist. Not sure exactly what he's an activist for. Doesn't say here. Maybe it does. I just haven't gotten there yet. But this man did not hesitate in the slightest bit. And this guy wasn't looking to hurt someone. Right here, this manager of this local business, of this restaurant, is confirming his account dictates that this man was trying to do nothing but protect people. His instinct was to protect the people around him. This is not some gun nut who is just waiting for the chance to start shooting. No. This guy carried, past tense, because he wanted to protect himself and protect those around him. Trianos said he witnessed Now, this is the Army surplus guy. He witnessed Hurley confront the gunman. Mr. Hurley shot him. I think I heard 6 shots from his gun, maybe 5. Toronto said, what? So my man was just, pop, 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 pop. He said the gunman fell against a parked vehicle. Officials have not released information on who fatally shot Hurley. They also haven't confirmed who shot the gunman. So this man confronted. We don't have all the details here yet, but apparently what's going on here is the way it appears, or what we have here is he confronted the gunman and shots were fired. That's all we know, but all 3 are dead. We don't know if the police shot Hurley, which is quite possible. It's quite possible because from the way that I understand it, this man was targeting police officers, and he already shot a police officer. Mr. Hurley, John Hurley, heard the shots. He ran out instinctively and confronted the gunman. So shots were already fired. So that tells me that Officer Beasley was already shot. This man shot in return to stop him, and it's quite possible either he managed to return fire, because 5-6 shots, he said he heard 6 shots from his gun, maybe 5. So those 6 shots that he says he heard them from Hurley's gun. So possibly this man returned fire and hit Hurley, or it's possible and yet understandable that the police took him down. But I don't think so, because I just don't know if I'm thinking this man returned fire. Because I think that this police officer was the target. This police officer was not, to my knowledge, responding to a call. He just happened about at that particular place in Old Town. And this man was looking for cops to shoot. He found him, shot him. This guy ran out, confronted him, tried to get people to safety. And at that point, I'm sure police have been called and they are en route to responding. So I'm speculating that that's what happened. It's more likely that this gunman returned fire and hit Hurley, and it's more likely that that took place rather than police having already been on the scene. Now, there's also a very slim possibility that Officer Beasley didn't even know what the hell was going on and shot anybody who was firing a gun. So, maybe he pulled his gun and shot anybody that he saw firing a gun. I don't think that's a likely scenario, but I'm just putting it on the table as a possibility. Again, I'm thinking out loud, people. I'm speculating here. Now, Troyanos says that that the gunman fell against a parked vehicle. Officials have not released information on who fatally shot Hurley. They also haven't confirmed who shot the gunman. Troyanos captured video of Hurley being carried away by paramedics in a stretcher. He said, "I've got a pit in my stomach. I mean, I just don't know that he got killed being that brave." Troyanos was quoted in saying. And here I'm going to get a picture up of this Hurley gentleman. I've got him behind me, as you can see, on the green screen here. But I'm going to share this share with you what I'm seeing here. So this is the gentleman who ran and aided Officer Beasley, not knowing what was going on, not having any idea what was happening. He heard gunshots. He went running. In his mind, I'll deal with it when I get there. And first, I want to get people to safety. I want to make sure that on my way there, the people around me are safe. This is a true hero. I don't care what anyone says. Cody Souls, a longtime friend of Hurley, released a statement to Denver 7. John was a good guy. He would give you the shirt off his back. He was an outspoken activist and wanted to help people and create change in his community. I was saddened to hear about his passing. Good looking dude, man. Sharp dressed. I mean, you know, yo, if I'm rocking duds like that, you better believe I'm taking selfies, homie. You better believe it. Dude is looking sharp. And that's the end of the article, guys. I'll try to find some more. All right. We can get some more information. See if there's any fresh news. All right. So this article is about 4 hours old, guys. All right, I think I'm back. I don't know if I'm back. All right, sorry about that, guys. Awful internet. Trying to pull up this article here. So it says here, Arvada police say the man who shot and killed one of their own hated police officers. The suspect was shot and killed by police officers after opening fire in Old Town Arvada. Officers rushed to the area at 57th and Old Wadsworth on Monday afternoon and after receiving 911 calls about an officer being hit by gunfire near the Arvada Library. After Gordon Beasley died, he spent 19 years. Officer Gordon Beasley died. He spent 19 years with the Arvada Police Department. He was a school resource officer at Oberon Middle School and was working patrol while school was out for the summer. Beasley's background includes working on patrol and with the traffic unit as a motorcycle officer. Arvada Police Chief Link Strait said Beasley was ambushed by a person who expressed hatred for police officers. I can tell you Gordon was targeted because he was wearing an Arvada police uniform and badge, said Strait. While this was a deliberate act of violence, we still believe this was an isolated incident and our community is safe. An autopsy on the shooter is expected to take at least 6 weeks. The cause and manner of death will be released in that report, the coroner's office says. Details about the motive have not been released. So that, just to be clear, that's an officer speculating. That is an officer who obviously has strong feelings about having one of their brothers in blue taken down and just shot down, and clearly seemed to be in cold blood. Every indication, every detail indicates that this is a cold-blooded act. Police searched a vehicle in the area for possible explosives. One other person, John Hurley, who was described as a good Samaritan, also died. After about 9 hours of investigating, Arvada police reopened Old Town Square to allow people who left their vehicles in the cordoned off area could pick them up. Strait says the shooting was an isolated incident and the community is safe. Arvada police set up an emergency assistance center at the Shrine of St. Anne's School from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. So there you have a little bit more details. So based on that, that is definitely indicating to me, guys, based on that, that's definitely indicating to me that it was an exchange. John Hurley heard shots that most likely, more than likely, were the shots that killed Officer Beasley. And since Hurley was shot and he died, but 911 calls were placed, I'm thinking it all happened very quickly and officers responded. So I believe that this shooter, this piece of garbage, ended up returning fire and shooting John Hurley. And this is a man who sounds to me that he's perfectly aware of the risks. He's perfectly, but here's the thing: is it's one thing to be perfectly aware of risks, but it's another thing to be willing to give your life, put your life on the line out of just simply being a good citizen. To put your life on the line to save lives. And I'm a firm believer, man. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm a firm believer, because this proves it. This proves what I was saying. How many people now? 3 people are dead, right? Now, depending on what you believe in, the shooter being one of them, rightfully so, unfortunately. But this shooter attacked a police officer, shot him dead like a dog in the street. No respect, pure hatred. That's just what the evidence, or at least the details that we know of so far, indicate. That's all I'm saying. but shot this man in cold blood. This person, this good Samaritan, this person who just had an instinct to protect people, tells people to go to safety, hide in whatever little corner that you can hide in to keep from getting hurt or worse. And he confronts the shooter. Shot off 5 to 6 shots, allegedly. I believe the shooter could have very possibly and likely returned fire, because I think this all happened so fast. It was too fast before responding officers were able to get to the scene. Now I'm hopefully we'll find more details on both of these men, because I would like to spend a little more time remembering them. Unfortunately, I all the information I have, I've just shared it with you guys. But this was proof to me, because yes, unfortunately, 2 good people were killed. 2 good people, one of them being an officer of the law, sworn to protect us, puts his life on the line. And this guy, I mean, he's a school cop. You know what I mean? He's catching kids skipping school. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's doing the like he's the good Samaritan of cops. You know what I'm saying? Protecting kids, there to protect if there's a school shooter. I mean, that's crazy to me. Think about that. That tells me, because there have been school shootings in Colorado, that tells me that this dude is trained to deal with a mass shooting. But he's expecting for it to happen in a school. He's not expecting it to happen in Old Town, in the square. He's not expecting that. He's not expecting for some dude to target him. What he's trained for is he thinks somebody's going to come in through the front doors of a school, start shooting people. He's going to hear shots and he's going to respond and know how to handle the situation. Not some dude just randomly coming up to you and being like, bah. So the irony here, and usually I'm a big fan of irony, but this is one of those cases where the other side of the irony coin, which is the side that I don't like. Because this irony really sucks. Because this dude was probably well trained to deal with someone like that. And he just got the drop on him. Yeah, it's just it's so disheartening. But here's the thing though, guys. Here we are again. This man saved lives. That's what I'm going to focus on for the rest of this live stream. This man, I don't care what you think. I don't care what your opinions are on gun control. I don't care what you believe in. You cannot deny the fact that this man carrying a legal firearm a licensed firearm, at least I assume it was. If this guy was an open activist, I'm sure he's following the rules. I'm guessing. I'm assuming so. But this guy carrying a licensed firearm saved lives. And his instinct to A, decide to carry a licensed firearm, B, I'm guessing that he probably got training on how to handle the firearm, and C, had the instinct to not only go out and get a firearm just in case something like this happens, but when it did happen, he acted instinctively. That tells me that everything that he did was instinct. Going out and buying a gun was instinct on his part. Because I'm not convinced that this guy was the kind of guy that just wanted to shoot somebody. I'm just not convinced of that. Because his instinct, when he reacted without thinking, by hearing shots, when he reacted without thinking, he was thinking of the people around him. Get to safety, get out of here, move to safety, confronted the dude, pop, 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 pop. Put him down. Put him down. And gave his life in the process of doing so. Gave his life to protect his immediate environment. And you notice the first comment that I highlighted was, oh my God, why haven't I seen this on the news? Why haven't you seen this on the news? Does this officer, does his life not matter? I mean, it's on the news. You know what I'm saying? It's on the news. But I mean, why is it being covered the way that someone who died a hero should be covered? Is CNN blasting it? Fox isn't even blasting it. But this should be, well, of course, it's in your local news, Jules. You're in Colorado, and it absolutely should be. But national news, this should be blasted all over national news. These people, the focus of the United States of America right now, in my opinion, should be praising these two men. We live in a crazy world, man. We live in a crazy world. Now, here's the thing is, I'm not saying that George Floyd shouldn't have gotten the news that he got. Absolutely. He absolutely should have gotten the news that he got. I'm saying these men should get the same amount of news. That's all I'm saying. Why aren't they? Why isn't this country coming together to praise these men and celebrate these men? But it won't happen. It won't happen. I bet you I'm one of the only YouTubers in the true crime community, besides probably the YouTubers that I follow that are veteran police officers, that is going to cover this. Yesterday, I had over 100 people watching because they liked watching me tear up other channels because I think what they're doing sucks. But today, you know, I'm praising a hero, and I got 50 people watching. I got half that. What kind of world are we living in, man? I mean, it's sad. Because you might see Duty Ron, you might see Police Off the Cuff, you might see Mike King from Profiling Evil. I'm guessing Mike King probably will. I mean, if he doesn't, it's because he's probably very busy. But he's in Colorado, from what I understand, and he's a veteran police officer, and he has all my respect. But really, you know what I'm saying? Why am I the only one who is not a veteran police officer? Because I mean, let's say, I mean, take the police officer detail out of the equation. Let's just say Officer Beasley was just Mr. Beasley and just a civilian, right? What if this man was just a civilian and John Hurley did what he did? Would he be any less of a hero? Not in my eyes. Not in my eyes. Not at all. This man didn't know who was getting shot. He didn't know who he was who he was confronting. He didn't know what his motives were. He just knows that he saw a man shoot a cop and he reacted. Excellent point, Cherry K. Excellent point. Excellent point. They can't twist this into something, you know? It doesn't interest them. There's nobody here to attack. You know? Like, there's nobody here to attack. That's all this is. That's why nobody cares. If that's not the most depressing thing about being a YouTuber for me right now, I can't describe how much of a bummer that is. But that's, I mean, Cherry hit the nail on the head. It brought me to that conclusion right now. There's nobody in this situation to attack, so nobody cares. And I don't care what anybody says, man. I'm going to go back to it. Because this man was carrying a gun, because this man is a responsible citizen who had an instinct to protect himself and those around him, because of that, and because he chose to carry a gun, only one life, 2 lives were lost that should not have been. But I'm not minimizing these 2 lives in the slightest bit. What I'm saying is it could have been a lot more. If this man wasn't there, I truly believe that more people would have gotten killed or hurt. Because this guy did the responsible thing. That's all I'm saying. If everyone who had an instinct like this went out, bought a gun, and went to a shooting range and learned how to use it properly on a regular basis, if more people like this purchased firearms and trained properly on gun safety and accuracy, these things would happen a lot less. And even if they do happen, lives will be saved. This man saved lives. There is no denying that. So, I mean, the thing is, man, you got this whole gun control thing. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? Get rid of all the guns? Dude, guns have been around. Listen to me, dude. Guns have been around for 200 years plus. Right? I mean, they've been around, I don't know, what, 300 years? Something like that. I don't even know. But they've been around a really long time. And they don't have shelf lives. They don't have shelf lives. It's, you know, they're pieces of steel, metal. And if you take care of them, they last literally forever. And you're going to get rid of them all? They're just going to, like, there are plants that manufacture these things by the thousands, hundreds of thousands a day. Every day, just making guns, making guns, making guns, making guns. They're not going anywhere. Bad guys are always going to get a hold of them. So what do you do about it? Hold up a sign? Hey, no more guns. I mean, what's that going to do? That's not going to do anything. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to do nothing. I'm not saying it's wrong to be anti-gun. I don't like guns. I don't. I have no, I'm not one of those people that are like, oh man, that's a beautiful weapon, sir. What does it take? These shells or that? I don't know nothing about guns. I don't know anything about guns. The only reason I don't have a gun right now is because I can't afford one. And I'm just not quite there yet. I've been very, very candid here that I have a history of suicidal thoughts. I have not had them in a couple of years. I've been always on the path of improvement. But I'm aware. I'm self-aware. I know that I'm capable of having suicidal thoughts. So I don't think it's probably in my best interest just yet to go out and buy a gun. Because when I say of sound mind, that is one of those things that falls into that category. Do I feel like I'm in sound mind now, of sound mind now? Absolutely. For sure. And if I went out and bought a gun today, it'd probably be fine. More than likely be fine. It's just there's that minute, minimal chance that it won't be, and that's because of my past. So, you know, I mean, but I am very, very, very much an advocate for anybody that is of sound mind and has an instinct to want to protect themselves and those around them, to absolutely go out, purchase a firearm, and learn how to use it properly. See, that makes sense, Mr. Higginbottom, too. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are interested in guns for different reasons, man. You know, and they're very, you know, they're interesting. It's an interesting piece of machinery. I mean, I love movies where guns are used. You know what I watched yesterday? I watched I watched, which I've never seen it because I just heard it was so bad, and it really was. It was not a good movie. But I watched From Paris with Love because it's on Netflix, right, with John Travolta. But it had some pretty dope action sequences. It was just a bad movie because the story was awful, and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is like one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my life. And I'm about to watch like a really long, really bad movie again because I'm going to watch Alexander. It's going to be like the extended cut. I'm going to be out of commission the rest of the evening. But talking about the From Paris with Love, I mean, I remember looking like they had some really cool looking guns in that movie, dude. I get it. I get the interest. I've shot guns. I shot guns one time in my life. I went to a shooting range with my brother. I went to a shooting range with my brother and his best friends, and they're very successful people, all of them, and so they were just like buying bullets because they would just have something to like open-ended. But we were shooting everything, dude. You know, they were just like, yo, Will, try this one, try this one. And I mean, I shot everything from a 38 to a AR-15 semi-automatic. And I get the power that people feel from them too. I get the power that people feel from them. It's, you know, but I wasn't attracted to that. You know what I mean? It didn't overwhelm me in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, I was frustrated that I couldn't shoot the pistols right. Because, I mean, you have to learn how to shoot. You have to learn. There's no, hey, aim, okay, I'm going to hit the target every time. No, you got to learn how to shoot. It's a very dangerous weapon. And it takes practice and learning to be able to safely operate it, especially in a situation where you're going to need it. So I was absolutely like, I mean, I shot a 9mm, I shot a 45, and dude, I shot the thing was the one time that I hit the target like perfectly was when I shot the AR-15. That thing is scary how accurate it is. So when I hear people say, oh, we want to put a ban on assault rifles for citizens, only law enforcement should have assault rifles. First of all, no, because my libertarian views that I happen to have doesn't necessarily make me a libertarian, but my libertarian views, some of the libertarian views that I have dictate, no, you do not want only law enforcement or military having assault weapons, because I like being free, and I like to know that people who believe in my freedom, who are well trained, especially with those assault weapons, have access to them and are ready to stand up for my freedom and fight for it if it ever comes to that. And of course, I need to be willing to do that too. I am willing to do it. I just I don't know if it's the best thing just yet. But I love the idea that those are available to good people who believe in not just their own freedom, but yours and mine. And yes, ironically, your freedom to complain and try to ban and lobby to ban guns or assault weapons. So if that freedom is taken away from you, who's going to fight for it? Who do you think's going to fight for it? That's all I'm saying. So, you know, seeing a man like John Hurley being one of those people makes me feel comfortable as an American. That makes me feel more comfortable as an American than a police officer carrying a gun or a member of the military carrying a gun. Because that is an example of what an American is and should be. Free. And willing to protect your freedom without collecting a paycheck for it. But first and foremost, willing to just protect you. And yeah, I mean, I can go into, 1776. Ooh, yeah. My favorite year in history, dude. You know what I'm saying? We demanded freedom. Our country was founded on this principle. We said no more. We let the limeys know what their place is. I can't help but troll. I just can't help it. I can't help it. Especially my favorite mods. But yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. You know, I mean, but when I shot, I got off topic there, but when I shot that AR-15, man, it was so accurate. It was so accurate. It was scary how accurate it was. Literally, a child that was big enough to hold it could fire this thing and hit its target accurately. Yeah, martial law is something that scares the hell out of me too, man. Scares the hell out of me, man. And you know what happens when you know why they declare martial law? When people act a fool. That's it. When too many people are out in the street acting a fool. Rioting, looting. Then guess what? Everybody's freedom's taken away. Because people don't know how to act. I haven't even been looking, but does anybody know what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse? I covered that shooting on this channel, but I'm wondering what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse. It's absolutely 100% true. Peace out. It absolutely is true. You know, I'm saying, going back to my point, I'm not saying it's wrong to be anti-gun. I'm just saying it's unrealistic to think you're going to get rid of them, and it's unrealistic to think that you're going to stop people from getting hurt if you ban them. Because I mean, it's the truth. Only outlaws are have guns. If you outlaw guns, only outlaws are have guns. That corny ass bumper sticker that you see on pickup trucks is absolutely true. It just is. If you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. We need men like John Hurley to legally be able to carry firearms, because that incident proves it. I don't care what you say. This incident proves that people like John Hurley need to be legally allowed to carry firearms, because it saved lives. Exactly, Lindsay Nicole. It's just people wanting to control things, people wanting to have something to whine and complain about. you know, without thinking realistically of what the result would be. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. Now, I mean, shut up. Because if you happen to be standing there, I guarantee you are loving this dude, John Hurley. If you happen to be in that area and you're anti-gun, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not hating this guy. That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, he has not had trial yet. Thank you. Peace out. So, yeah, we'll be covering Kyle Rittenhouse's trial too here. Because I am of the belief that that was self-defense. I went over in detail, like in almost slow motion. I mean, I went over in detail all of the footage about that shooting. That kid shot in self-defense. The question is, should he have been carrying an assault rifle? That's the question. That's the question. Now, I don't know. We're going to have to look at the trial. But yeah, guys, these men are heroes. And I think it's a damn shame that the entire country isn't coming together to praise them as heroes. I think we need to do a lot better, guys. Anyways, I'm going to call it, guys. I love you guys very much. And we will do this again very soon,